Hey everyone, it's Jeannie here. Today I am joined by the incredible Hollywood actors. They're also the stars of the new film, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. They play a couple in the film, but they are also a real life couple. I'm joined by Maria and David Barrera. And guys, first I want to say congratulations on being such a model example in entertainment for not only Latinos, but for marriages. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
We're
very
happy to
much.
be here today.
Yeah, so I did watch the film and I loved it. I found myself emotional, particularly in parts that you guys, your characters, things that you said to the father who was struggling with his daughters. So I want to start there. David, I'm going to ask you, I know you have two daughters yourself together. How did Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters kind of impact you? I know that the film is based off of the book, the best-selling book, but just this whole concept, this theme of Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters.
Well, in preparation for the movie, I read the book and I thought it was incredible. I thought Meg Meeker has some incredible insights, some God-given advice to fathers who are raising daughters. And we have two daughters of our own. And just some of the insights that are in there are just so incredibly stated by a woman to fathers to say, hey, it's almost like you're a little different because you're a man, but I'm a woman telling you, this is how you should raise your daughters and the kinds of things that you should implement in your raising. And it's just such a beautiful book, and I really loved it.
Like, for example, being your daughter's hero as a dad. Like a lot of dads, I imagine focus on shortcomings or feeling ill-prepared just because they're of the different gender and think that moms need to handle certain things. When in actuality, a father stepping up to the plate and having those intimate conversations with their daughters is exactly what the daughter needs. So I think it's encouraging dads to know that it doesn't matter where you think you lack. The fact that you care and are present and want to be there for her is like 80% of it right there. So don't get caught up in being perfect as a dad. Just be involved because a daughter needs to know that her dad wants to know what she has to say, wants to. And I think it's really encouraging for fathers to be reminded of that they're their daughter's hero. It's so important. And, of course, we all have, as women, we all remember like, and there's a part in the movie too, I think, beautifully written and performed by Robin, where she remembers her need for her father as a young girl. And I'm sure you can tap into a memory right now, and so can I, where we needed something that perhaps our dads could have given us and didn't think that they had the goods to do so. And what I love about Meg's book and the movie, our movie that is based on, is it encourages dad that, you probably don't even know how much of enough you are already. So go ahead and get in there and get your hands dirty and make a mistake if you have to, but get in there. I just think it's a wonderful message.
I love it. It's funny that part, particularly that when your character says that, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt so emotional at just, I think everyone gets caught up in the teenager who feels embarrassed that their father is probably being a little bit overbearing or overprotective. And we, so we sympathize with the teenager, like, oh my gosh, that's so sad for her, now she's embarrassed. But then we don't think about, but if her father wasn't there, what could have happened, in that scenario? So that line was just like a gut punch. And I was just like, oh, wow, it was really special.
Oh, are you talking, Jeannie, are you talking about my line?
Yeah, there's a line that you say
yes,
particularly.
Yes. Yes, and our
But
amazing producer, uh, Brady Nasfell, and one of our writers, Andrea, who is his wife, um, really, really wanted that line to be in there. Because previously another character who no longer was in the final draft said it. So we worked that in there because they knew how important that line is.
yeah,
I was referring to the one where Robin talks about her dad as well. I mean, there's just
yeah,
so many.
yeah,
What I love about our film is that it is very realistic in the unpleasantness of life, unmet expectations, embarrassments,
yeah,
um, selfish, myopic thinking that we may have as parents. It's realistic. It doesn't try to gloss over some of our ugliness or the mistakes teens make. But then there's also the real remedy in there in the messaging. It's not just sprinkle positive things over realistic things and hope for the best. I think it really gets in there in a very unapologetic and unfearful way of facing life. And that's why I love our movie.
yeah. There are certain things that you said, you're saying so many amazing things, and they're so layered. You know, we think about the absentee father, which is like a huge cause of a lot of things that's going on in even our country today, right? Just not
Yeah.
having that present father, but also just thinking about the identity crisis that men sometimes have, right? Which is why they don't show up in the first place.
Yeah.
So I would love to kind of talk a little bit to that, and just um inserting God in that, you know, because the father in the film, as we see, it's not really until he humbles himself and gets to that place where he's like, God, like, I don't know what else to do, where he
Mhm.
cries out to his maker, that he can now feel equipped to deal with his daughters. You
Yes.
guys talk
Yeah,
to that?
I think one of the things that the book does is that Meg Meeker gives fathers the opportunity to be involved and says it's okay to be involved. Because, like Maria said, oftentimes fathers feel like, well, I don't know if I can relate to my daughter, or I don't know if I have the right words, or that kind of thing. But she says just being there and listening and being present in their lives and interested in what they're doing, and that kind of stuff goes so far in a daughter's life. And we see it in our daughters' lives. You know, we've always been present. I've always been a very talkative dad with them, asking them questions about their day and that kind of stuff, and just getting involved in just normal conversation is 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 a great step, you know. And she gives us that opportunity as dads, and the permission almost as dads, to say, hey, it's okay. You don't have to be a special dad or a super dad. You just have to be there.
Right, but that's just the beginning, which is very important. But like you said, he realizes that it's not working. He's not the author of right and wrong. God is our creator, the ultimate father. And when, like you said, when he surrenders to, okay, I'm making it worse. And David's character supports and encourages him to read some of the biblical truths in Meg's book. He shifts, he makes a major shift. Obviously, he's humble, like you said, and realizes that, you know, through God's instruction, uh, you know, one of the verses about not stressing your kids or
Yeah, provoking them
exasperating.
to anger. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so simple and so important, because, you know, we don't realize as parents that, you know, because we think we're doing the right thing, and if we need to be even stricter and stress it even more. But there is a line where if you exasperate your kids, it is not effective. And the accepting who they are as adults, because she is an adult, knowing that she has her own separate God-given purpose.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful walk alongside the way God does with us, that a father, an earthly father, is called to do with his grown children, which we know as parents is a shift that we're making as our children are older teenagers now, which is not easy. So, you know, humility is essential, and knowing that we are not the authors of right and wrong. our creator is. So learning scriptural truths and being humble and willing to be molded and changed into, of course, never perfection, but better,
Yeah.
is what the character of Dad, the Steve, played by Bart so beautifully in such a fun, entertaining, human way. You know,
Yeah.
it's so,
Yeah.
is great to see. And it was great. Let me just tell you that when we watched the screening, for me, it was teaching me as Maria the mother. Even though I did the movie, I'm like reminded, oh yes, I need to let go. I need to trust her purpose instead of wanting to protect her so much and think I know best. I mean, it is just going to probably be a lifelong thing for me, I think, to let my children grow and not try to like worry and just leave her and trust, lead in faith and not in fear, and know that God has her because she loves the Lord. They both do. And oh, it's just really, this is one of the movies that I'm most proud of that I've ever been part of because of its wonderful message. And I like the way it was executed. I just really enjoyed as an audience member watching it. I was so proud.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, usually with movies that have some kind of faith content, usually people are like, is it gonna be cheesy? Is it gonna be cringy? You know, and I didn't feel that at all. I genuinely really also enjoyed it. I just had a son 9 months ago. So
Oh,
as
congratulations.
thank you. And as a parent now myself, the same thing. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to trust you. I'm gonna have to let go and trust you. So I want to ask you guys, how do you find yourself get into that place where you trust God with your kiddos? If you have any advice for anybody else who
It's,
might,
you know, it doesn't come easy because our first instinct is to be there, to instruct, to take care, to protect, you know, and that kind of stuff. And we do have to do that to a certain extent, but then at some place, and it's a constant reminder to kind of like, okay, let them handle this situation, even though I think it might be, you know, maybe a
Painful.
little, yeah, painful or whatever. Let them handle this situation, and then I'm there just in case they fall, you know. And one of the metaphors that I have is like when I would go to the park with our daughters, you know, I'd let them climb on the jungle gym or whatever it was, and I wouldn't like guide them all the way up, but I'd be there, let them in case they fell, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's kind of like the metaphor, is to kind of let them take their strides, but be there so they don't fall too far, I guess.
And for me, Jeannie, it's an everyday thing for me to seek God's will and to, because I have made and I think it's something that is fascinating, and I'm not the only one. Sometimes we think that they're the message for them is what the message we needed, but they're a totally different person. So they need like a clean slate to parent according to their personalities and their strengths and weaknesses. And sometimes I just assume it's what I needed to learn and go in there and teach that. But that's where our own healing needs to take place as much as possible. So I think having the courage to face our own wounds and ask God and seek God's healing, whether it be in a small group or in Christian counseling, or, you know, because we all have wounds, and healing our own wounds as much as possible before we think that they have those wounds and go in there and try to fix them when they may not even have it.
Right.
For me, that was like a big light bulb moment where, again, I think it underscores the fact that they are their own separate little people. And as they become adults, then you really have to trust that they are the kind of people that need to make their own decisions if they're gonna grow. But that is for me, it is a daily thing for me to like pray about and trust, because, and you'll see when they make those that transition, it's really beautiful, scary, wonderful, exciting to see them grow up. And when they start like having conversations with you and they have their own thoughts about the world or worldview, And you're like, when it's something like that's healthy and good and right, I'm like, yes, God. You know, it's just so exciting to see that the example that you've set and the love that you've poured into them has helped them make good choices is the most wonderful feeling in the world.
That's amazing. Honestly, this interview has been so rich and so good. It's refreshing, you know, sometimes we talk about deep topics in films and things, and you know, there's really not substance to talk about in an interview. So I thank you guys so much, just again, for your example as parents as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add? There was a line in the film, I think, David, your character, you remind the father to fight for your kids, not fight them, which sometimes can be hard, especially in the teenage phase. And I just thought that was super powerful, and just, you know, it's a spiritual battle that we're up against, so always remember that. But I don't know if you guys wanted to comment on that, or is there anything else that you'd like to
Well,
share before we wrap
I
up?
think I think that it's important. I think that it's important to remember that you're on the same team, right?
Yeah.
And they say, there's a saying that says, don't shoot the people in your foxhole, right? In war, you're in foxholes, right? And you're in the same team, and don't shoot the person in your foxhole. And I think it's the same thing with our kids, is like, don't battle with them, right? It's not a battle between us and our kids. We're on the same team, and we're battling against, you know, the bad in the world, or the evil in the world. And it is a spiritual battle at the same time, and we're on the same team. So if somebody on my team is hurt, the last thing I want to do is hurt them more, right? What I want to do is help them heal, and you help them heal through God's help and love.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I can't wait for everyone to experience the film. It's really powerful. I'm going to buy the book for a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's a great book.
That's a great idea.